coming up on 5 years old. So that's Kit there on the furthest right. Ooh, with the hand on the belly right there. That should be Rosa working with one of our aquarists. That would be Nikki there in the center. So that'd be Rosa, who just had her belly touched there by the trainer. And that means on the furthest left-hand side, or right-hand side rather, for us outside, all the way on the right, you're going to have Ivy. Ivy is the youngest sea otter. She's a blonde as well. She's coming up on 3 years of age at this point. Oh, Ivy is following around over now in the middle. So we've got Rosa on the right, Ivy, and then Kit. This is a feeding and training session, so you'll see the otters following the staff around as we're asking Ivy to go into the spa with Kit right there. So look to your screens for those two otters. Ivy and Kit are in the spa. We're asking these otters to do a few different behaviors. You saw a second ago that Nikki was touching Rosa's belly. Now that is important for the health of the otters here at the aquarium. They have medical checkups here. We have Dr. Mike, our staff veterinarian, who will look after these otters, and every year or every few months or so, these otters will be getting some checkups. And as you kids might know, it can be a little bit intimidating to go and see the doctor. Same thing with the otters here with Dr. Mike. So what we'll do is we'll train the otters for different behaviors that might be expected behind the scenes. That way their stress is lower, they know what to expect, and they know they're going to get some food there. Up on the deck is Kit right now. And this behavior is, we asked her to stand up. She decided not to just then, decided to go right back into the water. Fantastic. So Kit up on the deck, we could ask her to hop onto a scale, get into a kennel, or go behind the scenes. And those are all behaviors that we need to train here at the aquarium, again, for the health of the otters so they can participate in their own care. This style of training is called positive reinforcement. Kids, that's a very effective way to train your parents, okay? What you do is you figure out what your parent's favorite food is. You have a tin of that on your hip at all times. You ask your parent to do something, like let you watch your TV show. Once they do that, you give your parent a good job, throw them some food, reinforce that behavior. Voila, you've trained your adult as effectively as we train the otters. And parents, this works on your kids in reverse, also works on your spouse, your boss, what have you, whatever animal it is you're trying to train. Positive reinforcement. Take notes. Now, as reinforcement for the otters, as we can see, we've got Ivy currently up on the steps. Reinforcement for these otters in those tins, we've got bits of squid, shrimp, and clam. You might have noticed, though, those bits of food do not have any hard shells on them, because we found out the hard way back in the day. If we gave these otters crabs or mussels or clams with those hard shells, they would take those shells and bang them against the windows, scratching the windows to the point you could not see otters in here anymore. So when there are windows and you folks looking in, they get food without the hard shells. However, behind the scenes where there aren't windows, they can crack open mussels, clams, and crabs to their heart's content, making sure that those otters have all the skills that they need to open up those hard food items. Because these otters have a job at the aquarium, just besides being cute here on exhibit, they also have a job in taking care of stranded sea otter pups. Out there along the coast, you might have some orphan sea otters. They come here to the aquarium, and these females act as surrogate mothers, teaching them how to survive out there in the wild. So we want to make sure these otters have practice opening up that food so they can teach the pups before those pups can be returned back out there into the kelp forest and along the coast of California. All right, something else I'll point out, we've got quite a few of them in the exhibit right now. I don't know if you kids noticed, but all those toys in there. We've got, looks like a tire over there on the right. We had a long green scepter over there. We've got a little bit of a bucket in the water. Those are called enrichments for the sea otters. We might pack those full of food or fill them up with water, freeze that so there's ice in the exhibit. And those are just new things for the otters to interact